Hi, this is an Introduction to History 102, 91 for the spring semester of 2019. I almost said fall. My, how time flies. Now, if you are not a History 102 student from Heartland Community College taking my class, you should go someplace else. This won't be very interesting or useful. If you are a Heartland student, this will be useful. Interesting, if you like to know what's going on in your classes, I guess it'll be interesting. There's a couple things to point out about Blackboard and about how I've set up this class. I tried to keep it as simple and straightforward as I can. I like to have things be obvious. So announcements are where I put up, unsurprisingly, announcements about the class. If something ever changes, like a due date, or if I'm out sick or something, that's where I put up that kind of announcement. I'll also regularly put up reminders and kind of talk to you through the announcements. The course and syllabus info is where you find the course syllabus. We'll talk about that more in a minute. It will go from being a draft to being the final version tomorrow, and there probably won't be any changes. You also find my contact information. If you have any grade questions, you have to email using your Heartland email to my Heartland email. Otherwise, it's not secure and I can't comment. But if you're having some kind of problem getting a hold of me, you can also send me an email to my Gmail account that goes straight to my phone, or you can give me a call or a text. Like everybody else these days, I like texts. Please don't call before 9 a.m. or after 10 p.m. There's also some rubrics that are available on this page. The first one is the rubric I'll be using to grade essay quizzes and the exams. And when we do the first essay quiz, that'll become a lot more obvious. Also, this is where other rubrics show up. There's a viewing guide rubric. There's going to be a rubric on document exercises that will show up in a day or two. So just, it's the place where I put information about the course that's long term. The main place you're going to go is course content. And we're going to go to course content, and then we'll come back to the syllabus. There's a reason why. So course content is where I put the modules that make up the meat of the class. There's 8 modules. Each one is about 2 weeks of class. But I'll explain that more in a moment. There's also an orientation module, which is intended to be completed the first week of class, and it's to make sure that everybody kind of knows how the class works and give me a chance to say, yes, people are actually in this class, and I need to make sure I get something from you the first week. So that's the orientation. Let's look at Module 1. Oh, by the way, this page in course content, it lists all the assignments for each module. So you can look there and know what's going on, and then when you click on the module, it will be repeated later with actually correct dates from that first page. So you can look up and kind of have a checklist so you know what you needed to do. In this case, you have an analyzing your textbook assignment, which is a discussion board. And then you have a document exercise. Document exercises are something that shows up a lot in this class. I think every module has at least one. A document exercise calls on you to read something. Usually it comes from the documents book, but not always. And you read it and then respond to questions in a typed format and send it back to me through the submission tool under the assignment. Video viewing guides are another common assignment. This is where you watch a video and you actually download a document, answer the questions right on that document, save it onto your computer, and email me a copy. Finally, we have reading quizzes. Reading quizzes are open and untimed. Sorry, open book and untimed. And the idea is these are as much about guiding you through the reading as they are about quizzing you over the reading. So they both make sure you understand the reading and tell you where to look in the reading for the most important elements. I should mention um, the mechanism by which I upload quizzes into Blackboard every once in a while, less than 1% of the time, changes an answer. So if you're reading one and you think, boy, that's really wrong, send me an email. It's probably a problem with the quiz, or it's something I can explain to you. The next thing we need to mention is back on the syllabus. One of the things you're probably worried about is how long you have to complete individual assignments. That's a little bit complicated. I'll make it clearer here in a sec. But in terms of the modules themselves, you can see for Module 1, you have a 2-week window to complete it. And that's because I need to get assignments in the first couple weeks. So you have from the 14th to the 27th, Monday to Sunday, 2 weeks to complete that module. Then Module 2, you'll notice you have 3 weeks. And then Module 3, you have about a month. And that's how it'll be the rest of the semester. It's about a month. So 2 modules will be open at most times during the semester. And the idea there is that that lets you work ahead if you need to. Some people take online classes because they're going to be gone, and that's fine, perfectly fine. But I do have other assignments where I need to keep people kind of together, and we will have discussion assignments that are due on Wednesdays. Well, most things are due on Sundays. And that's so you can post something and then people can respond to it before that Sunday. And there are a couple of assignments that run longer. Papers, research papers, run longer than that, for example. But generally you have a month. So you could complete the class early, and if you needed to be gone earlier in the semester, and that's perfectly acceptable. That is designed in. If you have, there are a few times though when you'll need to answer questions, so we have moments where we come back together and have a synchronized class. Those things are usually discussion questions and can be done on something like a cell phone. If you really are going to be someplace where you don't have a connection, contact me and we can work around it on a case-by-case basis, but the vast majority of people, that small amount of synchronous activity both helps them, gives you a chance to work with other students, and isn't so onerous that it makes it impossible to pass the class. I should also mention, I don't even say anything about spring break on here, and that's because you have that month window, so nothing's due during spring break, and what that means is you can work ahead and not have to do any work during spring break if you're going someplace, or if spring break is a time for you to get caught up and maybe get ahead in the class, it'll be available there too. The next thing we need to talk about are discussion boards. Discussion boards are a place where you can interact with other students. We have a place for questions about the class. If you have some question, I check this fairly frequently. You can put a question up there and other students might answer it for you. Sometimes doing things like research, students know about new resources that I don't. So put questions up there and other students and I will ask them. Feel free to put a question up there and send me an email or a text. That's perfectly fine. This is also a place where we have assigned discussions. That is, you have to put a post up and then I give you a grade for doing it. Fairly frequently, you'll put a post and then be assigned to respond to 1 or 2 other students. So we're trying to get some discussion going. If you want to keep it going beyond those 1 or 2 replies, that's terrific. If not, it is what it is. The last place I probably need to mention is your grades. I actually can't see the grades as you guys do. And what that means is if you have a question about the grades, you need to ask me. In general, Blackboard's a little iffy about how it does grades. I do grades by a simple points method where all your assignments build up and you get a percentage out of them. I don't generally give extra credit. Sometimes there is something that's unique that I might ask you to go do and give you extra credit if you do. But for the most part, no extra credit. Most assignments are worth 10 points, 20 points, 50 points, or 100 points. That's an exam, or 200 points the research paper. So hopefully this has been enlightening. And if you like this video, don't hit the like button or smash subscribe. I'm not a real YouTuber. And if you find a Patreon with my name on it, don't give them money. It's not me. Um, but do contact me if you have any questions. You've got my contact information, and keeping the flow of information going in a class like this is critical to it working out well for you. So hopefully we'll have a great semester, and I will see you later.